How do you feel about President Trump withdrawing from the Paris Climate Agreement? Very likely, that depends on whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. According to a new Gallup poll, 66% of Democrats worry about climate change compared to only 18% of Republicans. Kate Flexter has more on the politics of climate science. Kate.
Thanks, Alan. President Trump says his decision will help the American worker and the economy. Others say it's a backward step after years of progress.
For Jerry Swarmstead, moving to Sarasota promised a coastal lifestyle. That's why she lives literally feet from the water.
There's something about being by the water that is just calming.
But as sea levels continue to rise, Swarmstead says coastal living is risky. It's a concern she says was only magnified by President Trump's decision to pull out of the Paris Climate Accord.
It's a step backwards, a step backwards.
The United States will withdraw.
The decision caught the world's attention, some applauding, others hitting the streets in protest. The president argues the agreement signed by nearly 200 countries to combat climate change will hurt the American economy and American workers.
I was elected to represent the citizens of Pittsburgh, not Paris.
Within days, dozens of American companies from Apple to Walmart to ExxonMobil urged the president not to quit the agreement. Plus, 12 states and more than 200 cities vowed to uphold the deal. Meanwhile, leaders from France, Germany, and Italy released this statement saying, quote, "The Paris Agreement cannot be renegotiated." French President Emmanuel Macron even abandoned his native French tongue in favor of English to invite American scientists to France to work on climate change.
Make our planet great again.
At Sarasota's Republican headquarters, though, Secretary Frank Patti was excited to see the move.
We shouldn't be dictated by agreement with other nations. This has to be done by the United States under its own auspices without causing damage to its own economy.
Patti acknowledges climate change as legitimate, but says it's primarily a naturally occurring phenomenon.
A small percentage is probably man-made, but we can't tell how much of it. So going on this tear that they've gone on is ridiculous.
Patti's correct that climate change is not entirely man-made. According to NASA, the Earth's climate is affected by small changes in its orbit. But NASA also reports, despite what Patti claims, the current warming trend is of particular significance because most of it is extremely likely, greater than 95% probability, caused by humans, leading to extreme weather events, warming oceans, and shrinking ice sheets. At the National Weather Service, meteorologist Daniel Noah says whatever the cause, Florida stands to lose a lot when it comes to climate change.
So what does this map show us?
So this is a sea level rise viewer from NOAA, and you could range from 1 feet to 6 feet. And it shows that once you get 3 feet above where the tides are now, St. Armand Circle starts to have water on it permanently.
So we would see St. Armand Circle underwater just after 3 feet.
We're starting to see roads go underwater, drains aren't draining, so that's the magic number.
NOAA points to Tropical Storm Colin and Hurricane Hermine as a taste of what climate change could mean for the Gulf Coast.
At high tide, the drainage pipes got covered up, and the heavy rain from the storms flooded the streets because the water had nowhere to go. We're going to see that more and more often as the sea level rises.
By the year 2100, the NOAA estimates range anywhere from 1 foot to 5 feet of sea level rise in Florida. By then, projections from Zillow estimate nearly 1 million Floridian properties worth more than $400 billion are at risk of being submerged.
The coastline will change. There's only so much you can do to mitigate the impacts. At some time, you're just going to have to tear things down and move inland.
But Swarmstead isn't quite resigned to giving up her coastal lifestyle. She's counting on the actions of companies, local governments, and individuals to slow climate change.
We need to have some hope, and we know that as we gather together, we can work together to do it. We don't have to depend on our government to do it.
Locally, both Venice and Sarasota voted to uphold the goals of the Paris Agreement.
Kate, thank you.